Hey, what's up, everybody? I want to welcome you to another episode of the Dreamers Pro Daily Recap, where we give you a recap of all of the hot topics that we covered that day. You can catch them in their long format and also catch it fully streaming for free on Apple Podcasts. So as you guys know, the Lakers and LeBron made a lot of news over the last 48 hours when they elected to essentially sit all of their starters in the game against the San Antonio Spurs that they went on to lose, right? And since losing that game, the Lakers have now fallen to the 6th seed in the Western Conference. They're just one seed, one spot out of the play-in tournament. They've lost 2 games in a row, but overall, they're 6-4 to the last 10. And I suspected that they elected to do that because they're going into All-Star Weekend and they wanted to rest up a lot of their guys there. But the other storyline that I think is going to pick up a lot of steam towards the end of the season is what happens with LeBron James at the end of this year. As you guys know, coming into the season, the Lakers elected to not give him a contract extension. And because of that, people have been speculating, hey, could he play here? Could he play there? Could he play here? Could he play there? So I came across some sound here today from the Rich Eisen show. Let me just confirm it. It was Brian Windhorst for sure on the Rich Eisen show. And he stopped by to talk to him. And Rich Eisen essentially was asking him, hey, man, what do you think about LeBron's future and where do you think he's going to play? And Brian Windhorst essentially listed some teams where he believes LeBron James could potentially play for next year. And then also he spoke about ways in which he could stay with the Lakers and taking a pay cut. So what we want to do is I'm going to play what Brian Windhorst had to say here, and I'm going to come back and continue on the show. Take a listen to Brian Windhorst here.
You've said multiple times here, actions, not words. That's what you're paying attention to, and that's how the NBA is best explained. Brian Windhorst here on the Rich Eisen show. What are the actions telling you about LeBron James and the Lakers?
So the Lakers had an opportunity to offer LeBron a contract extension last year, and they did not. And it's the first time in LeBron's 23-year career he's ever been on the final year of a contract. Obviously, he's left in free agency at times when he's opted out of a contract.
Right.
He's never, ever been on the last year of a contract. And I understand why the Lakers did that, because they are now building around Luka Doncic. And they probably could maybe do something better with the $52 million. By the way, when I say do something better with the $52 million, it doesn't mean pay LeBron $0. Like maybe they could pay LeBron $30 million and use that $20 million elsewhere. But for them to be the best team that they can't pay LeBron $50 million next year. They just can't, because they're paying Luka something near that, and they're going to pay Austin Reeves something near that. And you just can't have 3 perimeter-based players who are ball handlers who are not good defenders making that much of your salary cap.
So LeBron James saying, I will not take less than what I'm currently making, is that an action?
Well, if he does that, it's going to be hard, because I do think he's still an all-star, but I don't know if he's still a $50 million max player.
But does he still want to be a Los Angeles Lakers?
Right. So there's 3 things LeBron has to decide. One, are his body and mind in a place where he wants to play next year?
Yes, sir.
Now, the challenge with that's going to be, and I don't know if he knows, but I don't know, the Lakers are going to need to know like in June, because that's when the offseason starts. Mm-hmm. And I don't know if he's going to have an answer in June. I don't know where he's going to be with that. He may not know for sure until later. But he's going to have to decide that. That's going to be first. So that's the first thing. The second thing is, will he play? How much money is he willing to play for? Is he willing to play for $30 million? Is he willing to play for $15 million? Dirk Nowitzki twice took really big pay cuts to stay with the Mavericks. Now, it's debatable about whether those actually helped the Mavericks or whether they just saved a bunch of money because they didn't actually get functionally better. But that's neither here nor there. It's not unprecedented for a guy at the end of a 20-year career to take a big pay cut to stay with the team.
And not just in the NBA either. Look at Aaron Rodgers, right? Aaron Rodgers, 42 years old. Does he want to keep playing? Sure, he'll play for the Steelers. And he took way less than what his Hall of Fame resume would demand.
Correct.
Way
so
less.
If LeBron is determined to make the most money, it will probably not be with the Lakers. But pathway 2 is to stay with the Lakers for less money. How much less? A lot of variables we don't know yet. 3, would he go someplace else? If he becomes a free agent, would he go someplace else? Mm-hmm. And would he go someplace to make the most money? Or would he go someplace where he could take less money, but that he would feel comfortable or feel like he could win? It would probably, there's a good chance it would be his last year he certainly has to go into it with the strong possibility it would be his last year. So he has to go to a place where he could be comfortable playing a year. And I think there's a couple of places where that might make sense. Cleveland is one of them.
Heat? You want to go down the
I'm not sure I put the
here?
Heat on the list.
Okay, where else? Where else?
Golden State, depending on how things go, would be one of them, depending on where their team is.
Would Kerr have to be there?
Maybe. Okay. I don't, but that's a good question.
Sure. Okay.
And there's a place or two that I won't say right now that I'm keeping my eye on.
Is that the finger thing? We doing the finger thing?
I just, frankly, with All-Star Weekend and stuff, I don't need this in my life. Right now. But let's just say, I don't mean the fingers, but like,
no. I got it.
Let's put it this way.
I respect.
I have a team or two that I think he could consider going to.
Okay.
And I have researched the concept.
Okay.
And I will continue to keep my eye on the concept.
Keep digging.
And let's just say that, it's not without merit. It's just not something I'm going to say. And I don't mean to be a jerk that way.
No.
But I can't. I'm going to try to lay low this weekend.
Mm-hmm.
I don't need to be on every show trying to back up what I say.
Okay.
Fantastic. So you heard what Brian had to say. He brought up the Cavaliers, brought up the Golden State Warriors. He brought up some other teams. Now, let's look at the Cavalier angle. That makes the most sense from a legacy standpoint. If you look at the Golden State, Warriors, we know that LeBron has made it clear that he wanted to play with Stephen Curry for a very long time. All right, that's something that he's made clear. Draymond Green hasn't hid the fact that he would love to play at least 1 year with LeBron James. So, could there be a world where LeBron goes and signs with the Golden State Warriors for 1 year? Probably. That's palpable. But the question is, how would he be viewed in terms of his legacy? Now, he may be able to get away with it because he's going to be playing with older guys, but still, I would assume the reason he would want to do that would be to give it one last run at an NBA title. And if you look at it from a legacy standpoint, if you're LeBron, do you want to go to another team one more time? Because if he does that, that means he would have played on 4 teams. The Cavs the first time, Miami, the Cavs again, the Lakers, 5 teams. All right, now you count the Cavs because it's the same team, but you get the point. He left and then came back. It's a team. Is that something that he wants to do? But then you look at some of the other guys in the NBA, like a Kevin Durant. These guys have moved around quite a bit. What I have noticed is that the more you move, it really doesn't help your legacy unless you're going to various destinations and winning. Kawhi Leonard went to the Raptors and he won, but he's been in LA and he hasn't won. That's kind of been a knock on him. Same thing has happened with Kevin Durant. If you look at all of the places he's gone to, same thing has happened to James Harden. If you look at all of the places he's gone to, whereas you have a guy in Steph who's always been there, right? And he's staying there. So that's Steph's house. I'm not sure if LeBron would want to be a part of that, but hey. Last night, Mitch sent me a topic. A video from Too Raw reacting to some comments that Nick Wright had to make. So I clicked on the video to hear what Nick Wright had to say. And Nick Wright essentially was saying that the way to fix the All-Star game is to have a game where you have black players versus white players. And at the time he said that, I was like, man, what the hell are we doing, man? Like, is this, it's the NBA. So these kind of conversations can be a real thing. And at the time, I'm like, okay, this is not a serious thing, right? I read on some comments. So, some people left some funny comments like, well, what does that do with the light-skinned people? The people that are light-skinned, do they play? It's like, nah. So people are like, nah, you got to sit this one out. People just cracking jokes, right? Good. Then I wake up this morning and I see that Kevin Durant, because played against the Clippers last night and they lost a very close game, the Clippers, made some comments that left me floored. I was like, there's no way that Kevin Durant just said this. And I'm like, well, we're here now. It's not like as if the country's not polarized enough. All we needed is this. So what we want to do is we're going to play what Kevin Durant had to say here as he's calling out Luka Doncic and Nikola Jokic. And I'm going to come back and continue on the show. Take a listen to Katie here.
Got an all-star question for you. I saw the rosters were revealed and said you're on that old heads team. Do you think the old heads will compete and try to win the whole tournament here?
You should ask the Europeans if the world team if they're going to compete. I mean, because we look at Luka Doncic and Nikola Jokic now. Let's go back and look at what they do in the All-Star game. Is that competition? So we haven't questioned what they've been doing, but we're going to question the old heads and the Americans. But these two dudes out there, Luka and Jokic, they don't care about the game at all. These dudes be laying on the floor, they shoot from half court, but you got to worry about the old heads playing hard. I can read between the lines, bro. And I just think a lot of times, I'm just saying that I can read between the lines. And it's not just about you. It's just a overall topic that everybody has just been talking about. You just happen to ask me that question.
I will say that's a fair point.
All right,
Reading between the lines. Also, Victor, I think, has said he plans to play hard in the event.
We'll see. We'll see. I mean, we'll see. Yeah. Of course, Vic. I mean, he said that last year too, and they say it was the worst All-Star game that people watched. You know, so we're gonna see. You know what I'm saying? And who knows what's gonna happen.
So you heard what KD had to say. Did KD just say that? Did KD just say that? Now, I got a few thoughts. Maybe this is KD trying to build up the anticipation, right? And get people kind of fired up. Like, yeah, we talking, you know what I mean? We talking right now. You know what I mean? We're talking at you. We're talking trash. Like y'all are playing soft or whatever. Maybe that's what he's trying to do and light a fire under those guys' bellies to, in the case in which they play in a game and it's going to be competitive, right? You have one angle, you have that angle. You have the other angle, which is the race angle. Hey, he's going at these white guys. They're foreign players. There's Jaes. There's SGA, there's what's his name? He plays for the Nuggets. Jamal Murray. There are a few other, Pascal Siakam. There are a whole bunch of other guys, right? But he singled out these two, the two white guys, saying they didn't play well. I mean, they don't give a damn. And then I was watching it on ESPN on Get Up, and they were showing highlights of Luka doing like full court shots, just kind of messing around, right? And to that, Kevin Durant has a point. I think the reason, though, that they call out the older guys is because these are like the elder statesmen of the NBA. And the thing is, this wasn't said about their predecessors. This wasn't said about Kobe Bryant. This wasn't said about Kevin Garnett. This wasn't said about, I don't know, Michael Jordan and all the. It's being said about this group. And I think the reason it's been said is because the three most marketed players over the last 10 years have been Kevin Durant, Stephen Curry, and LeBron James. Right? That's them. So when people complain about the All-Star game, they're looking at the leaders, so to speak, of the league and like, hey, what have you guys been doing? You guys have not been able to get the younger guys to be competitive. Then you juxtapose that with the report that came out 2 years ago, or last year, but when Larry Bird tried to talk to the All-Stars in the All-Star game to kind of rile them up, and then LeBron James gave a side eye to the entire team and told them to hell with that. You have that going on as well, right? But overall, this is an indictment on KD and these guys is their error, man. Their error. I mean, it is. You could feel any kind of way you want to feel about it. But it is. You guys dropped the ball. Now, in terms of calling out Luka and all of these other guys and they're injecting the racial aspect to it, I think it's where America is today. I think we're right where who's surprised by this? We just went through the whole culture war with the Super Bowl. So this is in line with that. And this is what they're going to do. If this is what we're going to do, then let's do it. If this is what we're going to do, if this is the road that we're all going to go down, let's go down it. And let's see what it's going to be. Let us see what it's going to be. Is Luka and Nikola Jokic going to take offense to this and go out here and try to embarrass these guys or not? I'm here to see it. I mean, with every passing day, we enter a new reality that I've never experienced before. This is a new one. I've never heard anything like this before. For the 25 years I've been an NBA fan, never heard anything like this. So, there is no precedent for this where you have players calling out other players, Europeans, and let's do it. Let's see if this is what it's going to be. This is what it's going to be. Hopefully, it's a competitive game. Now, if it's a competitive game, I still think the world team is going to whoop that ass. World team's going to whoop that ass, bro. Good luck. If it's a competitive game, I don't think we stand a shot, man. You got a team with SGA, Jamal Murray, Pascal Siakam, Karl Anthony Towns, Giannis Antetokounmpo, Luka Doncic, Nikola Jokic, Victor Wembanyama. Yo, it's a wrap. It's a wrap. Rap City, baby. It's a wrap. It's a wrap, man. But we gonna see what it is. Who gonna deal with Victor? Who gonna deal with that dude? That dude is an alien, man. He does everything. He's like the Terminator that came back, but except we're in year 4,000 and something, man. That's who that dude is, bro. He plays offense, defense. Good luck with it. But I like the, you know what I mean? We're gonna see. I'm not taking any racial stuff. We're going to see afterwards what it's like. I think the All-Star game is this weekend. That's how bad it is. I'm not even sure if the All-Star game is this weekend. That's how disinterested I've been in the NBA thus far. But anyway. Oh. Wait a minute. And by the way, I think that all of a sudden my energy is beginning to come back to me. I think that Kevin Durant's comments is going to open up a can of worms here. You got people like Gilbert Arenas who has something against foreigners. I don't know why, right? He calls them euros. Can somebody tell Gilbert Arenas that that's an actual currency? He calls them euros. I don't exactly know why. I don't also know why where any player that's not from America is from Europe. I don't, that's a whole nother conversation, right? Shows a lot of geographical illiteracy, but that's a different conversation. I think you're going to hear a lot of that kind of stuff from those guys too. Oh, people's prejudices and what they really think is going to come out leading into this All-Star game. So y'all just be on the lookout for that. I came across an article today on fadeawayworld.net that had the following headline saying, LeBron James reportedly interested in 4 teams. Potential reason for grumpiness towards Lakers revealed. And I'm like, wait a minute. We've done a show on Brian Windhorst. So I'm like, is it that? But then as I began to go through the article, I realized it was actually a totally different story, right? So as I began to read through it, I said, okay, there's something here that we should definitely talk about. As you guys know, the Lakers did not give LeBron James an extension this offseason. And it was something that he was not happy about. You could see that the very first game, when the Lakers started their season, he was totally disengaged. He seemed very, very upset. He didn't smile. He didn't change his expression all throughout the game, to the point where even some NBA guys noticed it as well. Fantastic. So you have that. And then, he missed games and all of that. There seems to be a little bit of passive aggressiveness. Recently, he made some comments that could have been directed towards Lakers management, where he said that, they're definitely not a championship team, right? So then I came across this article, and I'm like, okay. And it says, LeBron James linked to 4 NBA teams this summer as a source for his attitude with Lakers is finally revealed. Okay, so let's get into what this article had to say here. It says, it has become abundantly clear in the recent weeks that LeBron James is likely playing out his last final season with the Lakers. After 8 long years with the franchise, his contract is up this summer, and he's not acting like a player who plans to return. According to ESPN's Tim McMahon, James' grumpiness towards the franchise is due in large part to the realization that he will not be a part of a long-term rebuild with Luka Doncic and Austin Reeves. In many ways, the Lakers have already moved on from the LeBron James era, and he no longer feels the connection he once had with the organization. What this means is that James is either headed toward retirement or a different team to close his historic career. According to Brian Windhorst, they're 14, blah, 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 blah. Then we have another post here where this is from Lakers Daily, and I want to put it up here. It says, Tim McMahon, I think part of LeBron's grumpiness is the realization he's not going to be a part of the Luka Doncic, be a part of rebuild around Luka and Austin. So you heard what the Post had to say there. What are my thoughts about this? I think that makes sense. It looks like LeBron was really blindsided by that move. Various people on the internet have speculated, did he know about the Luka trade? Did he know? He didn't know, whatever. But as it stands right now, this one for sure, we know that he thought he was going to get an extension. Look at it from his standpoint. The year prior, he was an all-star, and he was an all-NBA player. If you look at another player that's pretty much up there, James Harden. He was an all-star. He was an all-NBA player. He had a contract offer or a contract extension. Did LeBron James? No. So from his standpoint, he must have been really, really befuddled. Like, I'm confused here. I was an all NBA player and I don't get a contract extension. When was the last time you ever saw an all NBA caliber player not get a contract extension? I can't remember it in NBA history. But that's exactly what happened. And to me, that was an indication from the Lakers that, look, they've seen enough of this, man. Now, we all know that they're angling towards summer 2027, but it's like, we've seen enough. We don't need to do this again. And I think that's something that really surprised those guys. You know, and then you started seeing passive-aggressive shots from the agent and all of that at the Lakers front office during Max Kellerman's Rich Paul's podcast and all that. You saw a little bit of that kind of materializing over there. And it all begins to make sense. But if you're LeBron, you also have to come to the realization, man, look, your record with the Lakers in the playoffs over the last 3 years is 2-12. If I'm aware of that, the Lakers are aware of that. You've had an opportunity to make playoff runs with Anthony Davis, nothing happened. You had an opportunity to make a playoff run with Luka Doncic, nothing happened. Couldn't even get out of the first round. Lakers have been able to get out of the first round in the past 3 seasons. So why would they want to run it back once more? You know, it's understandable for them to want to course correct and do something new, or just say, you know what, we're done with this. We just want to maybe, maybe just let's things simmer down for 1 year. Let's evaluate some of the young talent that we have here and then look to see what we have going into the future, or maybe prioritize other players, younger stars like Austin Reeves. If you look at the Lakers play right now, it is clear just by looking at them that Austin Reeves is their second best player. I don't think there's any confusion about this. Look at the games. Look at how he performs. He's their second best player. And the Lakers should prioritize that. You know, so it's understandable from his standpoint because I think it throws everything, it throws his entire schedule off. Mind you, according to reports, he's building a $100 million house in LA. You're telling me that now I got to go live in another city for a year or state for a year or 2? While my dream home is being built, LeBron would have liked to stay in LA. It makes sense. If you're building a $100 million house, chances are you want to be where that house is. You know, to look at the progress and all of that, whatever. And plus your family's there, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. You know, so it must have been something that's very frustrating for him. But hey, the Lakers made the decision and he has to live with it. For those of you who aren't aware, Kawhi Leonard is having a career year. This year, he's averaging 28 points per game on 49% shooting from the field, 38.3% shooting from 3, 91% from the free throw line, while getting 6 rebounds, 6.5 rebounds a game, 3.7 assists, only 2 turnovers, and 2.1 steals per game. He's having a fantastic year, right? An absolutely stellar year. And then last night they played against a pretty tough Houston Rockets team. Last time I checked, in terms of the NBA standings, they were the number 4th seed, probably the number 3rd seed going into that game yesterday. Now, they had lost the game to Houston because they played them back-to-back. They had lost the game prior to last night's game, and I think at the end of the third, I thought the Clippers were going to lose. Just for me to tune in, I saw that the Clippers had like a 2-point lead. I know, a 5-point lead. I'm like, what? The Clippers are leading this game? And then I tune in, and great finish, kind of back and forth at the end. Teams are going. It was the game to the wire. Excuse my energy. I'm dealing with the food poisoning here, so just I can barely think straight. And the Clippers got a lot of, they got contributions from everyone. You had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 players in double figures. They played a balanced game, but at the end of the game, Kawhi Leonard stepped up, made some clutch free throws, and of course sealed the game winner with a fadeaway over 3 defenders plus the and one, got the foul, and ended up winning the game. And going into the All-Star break, you can see that it was very good for the Clippers to gain that victory. With that win, they're now the number 9 seed in the Western Conference. This is without James Harden, without Darius Garland, who hasn't been able to even play yet. And I'm just looking at Kawhi and like, man, this guy is really figuring it out. Now he's playing with a group of young guys where he's the unquestioned leader. He's the vet. Of course, you have other veterans like Nicholas Batum. And I think he's doing a good job leading these guys. The Clippers are 6-4 over their last 4, but they play some stout team. They play some stout competition. And I think we got to give a lot of credit to Kawhi Leonard because, he's really been playing very, very well. The best that he's ever played in his career. One of the reasons that you see such a significant uptick in his scoring is because this year he made it clear that he wants to attempt 12 threes per game. Yep, you heard me right, 12 threes. Last year, I think he attempted 5. This year, he's attempting about 7.5 threes a game. By the time the season is over, he's probably going to be attempting over 8 3-pointers a game. And that's one of the things that he's been doing. And as he's been attempting more threes, he's shooting a very high percentage, close to 39% from the 3. So the guy's playing very well. What do I think the Clippers will be the second half of the season? I think the Clippers will probably be good enough to make it into the play-in. For them to kind of make it out of the play-in, I think in terms of the standings, something catastrophic would have to happen to the teams that are ahead of them. I'm talking about the Lakers, the Suns, the Warriors. They would have to lose, and then the Wolves. Something would have to happen where they go on some type of significant losing streak because the Clippers they're about 7 games out of the 6th spot in the Western Conference to avoid the play-in tournament. But you got to give a lot of this credit to Kawhi Leonard, man. He's been playing well. I think he's been on a very, very long 20-point streak. For the first time, you can see that this guy is actually aggressive to score the basketball. Whereas in the past, Kawhi would kind of be nonchalant about these kind of things. But this time, he's really, really, he seems like he's trying to make a point. Like, I'm going to score the ball. And it's good because, as you can see, it's not only helping his numbers, but it's also helping his team, which is the most important thing. Like, there's nothing wrong with being aggressive if it's helping your team win games. So this is something I'm going to be monitoring. I'm not going to go into a whole Kawhi Leonard posting spree. I'm monitoring it. I'll talk about Kawhi when I think it's appropriate. You guys understand where I stand with Kawhi. I promoted this guy for years and years and years on my channel, and he made a complete fool out of me. So no, not doing it this time around. When I feel like it's time and it's justified to do a video about him, I will. And if I don't, I won't.